I am Dominus Cinephile.
Welcome to my movie and TV series reviews, where I will provide honest opinions of the latest releases. If the movie or TV series is a hit or a miss, be sure to know I will inform you. But if the movie or series is trash, be also sure to know that I will trash the hell out of the movie. I am Dominus Cinephile.
And the movie on the review table today is the Nollywood film Finding Me. Finding Me is a 2025 Nollywood romantic drama written, produced, and directed by the powerhouse Funke Akindele, who also takes on the lead role. The film boasts a stellar ensemble cast featuring Nollywood heavyweights such as Shaffy Bello, Dele Odule, Sharon Ooja, Tina Humbar, Dakore Egbuson-Akande, Omoni Oboli, Omowunmi Dada, Efe Iwara, Joseph Benjamin, Femi Adebayo Salami, Emeka Nwagbaraocha, and AbdulGafar Abiola. Premiering on Amazon Prime Video on March 16, 2025, Finding Me tells the deeply emotional and thought-provoking story of Tinuke Phillips, a young woman from a privileged background who has silently battled low self-esteem and self-doubt her entire life. Despite her wealth, Tinuke constantly feels like an outsider, ridiculed for not fitting into society's rigid expectations of beauty and status. Her life takes a turn when she meets Kola, falls in love, and eventually marries him. But years into their marriage, after adopting a son, Tinuke's world begins to crumble. Kola, once her source of happiness, turns into her worst nightmare, subjecting her to relentless emotional abuse, infidelity, and body shaming. As her marriage teeters on the edge of collapse, Tinuke is forced to confront her deepest insecurities. With everything around her falling apart, she must embark on a journey of self-discovery, strength, and redemption, learning that the most important person she needs to save isn't her marriage or the love she thought she had, but herself. Here we go again, another Funke Akindele movie. Okay, I know this isn't the review you were expecting from me right now. And no, I haven't watched Everybody Loves Jennifer yet. I'm patiently waiting for it to premiere on Amazon Prime Video or Netflix before I give my thoughts on it. But for now, let's talk about Finding Me. So let's dive straight into it. Will this be another overly dramatic Nollywood spectacle from Funke Akindele, or does Finding Me finally break the mold? As expected, Funke Akindele once again pulls a Tyler Perry move, writing, producing, directing, and starring in the lead role of her own film. And just like her previous works, the movie sticks to the same predictable formula: melodrama, exaggerated performances, and a disjointed plot that rushes through key moments without depth or nuance. Finding Me doesn't offer anything fresh or groundbreaking. Instead, it recycles the same tired tropes, forced humor, over-the-top emotional breakdowns, and inconsistent pacing that make her films feel weak, uninspired, and painfully predictable. At this point, it's clear that Akindele is stuck in a creative rut, churning out the same type of movie over and over again with little effort to evolve or refine her storytelling. The movie opens with Kola delivering a video presentation for his company, narrating its services while simultaneously discussing his marriage to Tinuke. His words are drenched in condescension as he openly belittles his wife and justifies his pursuit of more sophisticated and sexy women. From the visuals alone, one thing becomes glaringly obvious. Tinuke feels like another Jennifer clone. Her makeup, wardrobe, and mannerisms immediately scream Jennifer, making it hard to take her character seriously in what is supposed to be an emotional and dramatic role. At this point, it's hard to ignore the fact that Funke Akindele seems stuck in her comedic Jennifer persona, unwilling to evolve or detach from it. But what makes it even more baffling is the way Tinuke's character is written. The script tells us she is an intelligent, hardworking woman with 2 master's degrees, the CEO of her father's steel company, and a woman of power and influence. Yet everything about her presentation, her speech, her demeanor, even her styling, completely contradicts that image. It's as if the film can't decide whether Tinuke is supposed to be a respected, accomplished businesswoman or just another exaggerated comedic character. The result? A disjointed and unconvincing portrayal that weakens the film's emotional impact. It's impossible to ignore how the movie leans heavily on overused tropes of marital abuse and self-discovery. From the very first act, the story becomes painfully predictable, offering nothing fresh or thought-provoking. One would expect Tinuke's journey of self-discovery to be a powerful emotional arc, leading her to find strength and independence. But instead of delivering an inspiring transformation, the plot takes a jarring detour, completely abandoning the idea of self-growth. What we get instead is a woman broken by her husband, who doesn't truly find herself on her own, a contradiction that weakens the entire narrative. The most frustrating part? The movie seems to push a dangerously flawed message. Two wrongs can somehow make a right. It justifies payback and revenge, wrapping them up as if they were empowering solutions. The script seems to say, if you can make your retaliation look like an accident and build a few justifications around it, then it's okay. That's not self-discovery. That's just sloppy, misguided storytelling. By the time the film shifts from self-discovery to revenge, it's clear that the script is a jumbled, incoherent mess, struggling to hold on to any solid theme. It tries to be deep, but ends up being shallow and directionless, ultimately failing to deliver a meaningful or impactful message. One of the most frustrating aspects of this movie is its excessive runtime, a staggering 150+ minutes that should have been used to develop a cohesive, well-structured story. Instead, what we get is a muddled, incoherent mess that insults the audience's intelligence. With such a long runtime, you'd expect the plot and themes to be properly fleshed out, with smooth transitions from scene to scene, subplot to subplot. But the storytelling is so disorganized and confused that the film ends up tripping over itself. Then, in a last-minute, desperate attempt to tie up loose ends, we are suddenly bombarded with rushed, ridiculous subplots. Out of nowhere, we discover that Kola and Tinuke's son is adopted. Kola's best friend and doctor is actually a fraud. Kola has no sperm count. There's a mysterious bad guy handling Kola's dirty work. These plot twists don't just feel forced. They come out of thin air, thrown in at the 11th hour, as if the writer realized too late that the story lacked depth. The lack of a detailed backstory is not just frustrating, it's downright insulting. Instead of a well-crafted narrative, we get a chaotic jumble of ideas, making it painfully obvious that the script was written with no clear direction or structure, or that there was no script at all. Can someone please explain how Ndidi was killed and how her body ended up in the trunk of Anthony's car? One of the most frustrating aspects of this movie was the sheer recklessness in rushing the ending. The pacing completely fell apart, with time jumps that made absolutely no sense. For instance, we see Ndidi and her sister in Kola's office, blackmailing him for more money. But just before that, Kola is at home packing suitcases, clearly trying to escape. Somehow, despite being on the run with all the time in the world, he conveniently forgets to grab the very documents that could expose his lies. Then, without any logical transition, we suddenly jump from Ndidi in Kola's office to her sister at a police station, telling an officer that Kola murdered her. And if that wasn't absurd enough, Kola's hitman appears at the station, casually admitting to carrying out multiple hits for him. Multiple hits? In this same movie? When did that happen? The sheer laziness in writing and directing is appalling. The desperate attempt to cram in unnecessary characters and ridiculous plot twists is not just bad storytelling, it's outright insulting to the audience. Let's talk about the actors' performances, starting with the lead roles. Funke Akindele plays Tinuke, Kola's wife, and as expected, she delivers the same predictable performance we've seen in most of her movies. As I mentioned earlier in this review, Tinuke is essentially just another version of her comedic Jennifer character, only this time with 2 master's degree. Despite her efforts to transition away from the Jennifer persona, her overall performance was underwhelming. Her romantic chemistry with Anthony was non-existent, making their relationship feel forced and unconvincing. In a rom-com or any romantic drama, the lead couple should have that spark, the kind that makes the audience root for them. Unfortunately, Akindele failed to deliver that magic. The only moments her acting felt remotely believable were when she unconsciously slipped back into her Jennifer mannerisms. Joseph Benjamin, who plays Kola, delivered an above-average performance, certainly better than Akindele's, but still fell short of expectations. Given his experience in Hollywood, particularly in some of Tyler Perry's productions, I expected a stronger impact from him. He had the potential to elevate his character, but instead, his portrayal felt safe and unremarkable. Then again, it's not like Tyler Perry's productions are leagues ahead of what Nollywood churns out every other week. Overall, Benjamin's performance was decent, but it lacked the energy and depth needed to make Kola truly compelling. Even with a weak script, he managed to make certain scenes believable, though there were moments where his acting felt questionable and uninspired. Femi Adebayo Salami plays Dortun, Tinuke's older brother, but honestly, I have no idea what to make of his character. He felt like nothing more than a forced comedic filler thrown into the cast to add humor that simply didn't land. His performance was neither here nor there, completely forgettable. Playing an older brother who's vying for control of their father's steel company should have given him a strong authoritative presence. Instead, he was stuck in yet another goofy, over-the-top comedic role that didn't fit the character's supposed ambitions. It was painfully obvious that he was trying too hard to make his performance believable, but the forced delivery only made it worse. Unfortunately, this was yet another weak, below-average showing from him, one that lacked depth, conviction, or any real impact. Beyond its lackluster performances and uninspired storytelling, Finding Me had even more issues dragging it down. As expected, the cinematography, shooting style, lighting, sound, and overall color grading were all major pitfalls, making the film feel visually unpolished and inconsistent. It's painfully obvious that there was no table read before filming began. This is evident in the awkward script delivery, disjointed dialogue, and overall sloppy execution. The lack of preparation is glaring, and it severely weakens the film's impact. In summary, Finding Me completely fails to live up to expectations. The narrative utterly collapses under the weight of its own premise. Supposedly, this is a film about a woman enduring emotional abuse from her husband and eventually finding the strength to reclaim her identity. Yet the story never actually focuses on Tinuke's personal journey of self-discovery. Instead, it turns into a shallow plot about her leaning on a friend and conveniently finding a new husband, effectively discarding the self-empowerment theme the movie pretends to champion. The entire finding herself arc is thrown straight into the gutter. From bad cinematography to subpar performances to rushed and incoherent scenes, Finding Me is yet another feeble, uninspired production that completely fails in its storytelling and execution. Nothing works in this movie, and as usual, Akindele's production delivers yet another forgettable, half-baked mess. And now for my rating. Finding Me scores a disappointing 2 out of 10. I'm definitely trashing this. Thank you for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and share this video. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon for notifications. Also, be sure to follow me on TikTok, WhatsApp channel, and Instagram at Domino's Cinephile for more movie and TV series reviews. Domino's Cinephile, signing out.